Check, check. Can you hear me, sir? Yep.
Hello and welcome into the Udiana Cricket Ground for this next fixture of this amazing series we have here in Bali, Indonesia. It's the East Asia Pacific Under-19 Women's Qualifiers, and the winner of this tournament will progress through to the World Cup in 2025, so next year. And today's match is, well, the first of today's matches is Indonesia against Fiji. Fiji's going to be batting first, and already we can see with the field setting the aggressive approach of Indonesia, and their very, very impressive opening bowler, Murtiari, is going to be opening the bowling. She's quite something, actually. She's, I think, one of her spells in this tournament off 4 overs conceded 3 runs, and she's quite an impressive bowler. And so it's going to be Murtiari to open from the southern end of the ground. She's got 2 slips in the gully. And straight away, she beats the outside edge. She's got immaculate control, actually, Murtiari. She doesn't really give away any runs. The only time I can think of in this tournament was she gave away a couple of 4s against Samoa on the second day. Anyway, here she goes again. And again, the Fiji opener is just trying to run that one away, and she isn't able to make contact. That's Hazelman, the captain. They managed to get through for a bye, and just please forgive me at the moment. We have a slight technical problem, so I can't see the actual score, but that was Hazelman on strike. Here's Murtiari again, and this time it's worked away into the leg side. They're probably going to come back for 2 here, and that was very well done by Rokoro, the regular opener for Fiji. So Hazelman and Rokoro are at the crease, and Fiji now, they're 3 without loss in this first over, and it's good morning for the first time to Effie, who's of course the local, you might have to turn your microphone on, I can't hear you, mate. It's Effie who's just come back to that, is once again, it's a beautiful delivery from Murtiari. It beats everyone, actually, and it's another bye. So beat the keeper, Pratiwi, and beat the 2 slips. It beat everyone. And anyway. Is it on? Oh, okay. I'm trying to get Effie. He's just sitting next to me. I just still can't hear you. Anyway, here we go. Here's Murtiari again. And she struck on the pad this time, Rokoro, and it's It was a shout from Murtiari and also from behind the stumps, but there was no positive signal from the umpire, and Murtiari is going to come in again. Here is a lovely ball again, just on the line of the stumps, and so at the end of the first over, it's 4 without loss. Thank you, Effie. Effie's just brought up his app. That's helpful for me. So we're just going to try and get the our screen working in the commentary position. It just makes life a little bit easier, because if you're just tuning in for the first time, our commentary position is actually, well, depending on which end of the ground you are. Like, so right now, for example, we're at long leg, and then at the other end of the ground we're at extra cover, so we don't have a sight down the ground. Anyway, it's going to be a new over, and coming into bowl now is, wow, I thought there was a chance of a single there. Sorry, I just haven't been able to pick up who that is. Let me just have a look at the team sheet. Just want to make sure I've got this right. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's Panun, but I'm not completely convinced about that. It might be... Oh, it could be Putri, actually. I think this might be Putri, Kadek Putri, a local Balinese player. Yeah, she's normally the opening bowler. Oh, and she's got some good pace going, although that one's wide, and it's outside the line of off stump. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is Putri. She opens the bowling often for Indonesia, and just on that occasion she was just a little bit wide of off stump. Quickly back to her mark. Here she comes again, Putri. Right arm over the wicket. And it's a bit of a slash outside off stump. And Rokoro, she's quite aggressive, although yesterday, or sorry, not yesterday. Yesterday, of course, was a rest day. The day before, she actually stayed in for a very long time. I think she's faced about 30 balls from memory, and got through to about 4 or 5. And anyway, this next one's gone through the keeper as well. Pratiwi didn't get it cleanly, but no damage done to the scorecard from an Indonesian perspective. So anyway, here comes Putri again, and this time Rokoro is just defending back to Putri. So very good opening over here from Putri, and this is exactly the sort of start they would have wanted. Obviously, Indonesia are favourites to win this game based on results so far. Fiji, of course, here comes Putri again, and Rokoro's trying to cut that one, but it's wide outside her off stump, and she wasn't able to make contact, but it was given wide by the umpire at the Kuta end of the ground, and so it's one more to the Fiji total. But nonetheless, it's been a good over from Putri. Here she comes again. And this one is cut away, and cut away nicely by Rokoro. But there's a fielder just behind point. She's able to get back there. I think that's Bungie out there. I can pick her out quite easily because she has very, very long hair. And I think that was Bungie out there. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. And anyway, it was just the one run. So that brings Hazelman on to strike, the other opening bat. And here comes Putri again. And Hazelman this time cuts it to backward point, straight to the fielder that I was just talking about, Bungie. And she timed it so nicely, there was no chance of a single. So that is the end of the second over. And good positive start from Fiji, must be said. they haven't lost a wicket yet, and in this tournament so far, they've struggled somewhat. We have to be honest about that. But we had their coach on air a couple of days ago, and he said, "Look, it's not about setting particular targets." Here comes Mutiari again, and this one's cut away to point, and there's no run. But he basically recognised the fact that the Fijian team is very inexperienced, and essentially what he said was, just go out there and play. It's fine. Don't worry too much. Let's just have a good time. Let's keep learning. Here comes Mutiari again, and this time it's another beautiful delivery. It was an outside edge, fell just short of backward point, and there's no run. I think we're just trying to get the replay screen going here. The secondary reason for needing the replay screen is because it actually has the scorecard as well. So
Good morning, everyone.
this time it's Mutiari once more. It's outside the line of off stump, and once again Mutiari showing her full array of talent and ability. Virtually unplayable this morning. Effie, I still don't think your microphone's working. I can't hear anything. So here's Mutiari, and this is a swing and a miss this time.
It's another good ball.
Yes, you're here now.
Devi. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, good morning, Effie.
How are you, Andy? Good traffic today?
No, Saturday. Wow, so much better. I actually left half an hour earlier today. I gave myself a little break in Kurobokan, just my little treat, as this next one from Mutiari is past the outside edge once again. And she's very impressive. But yes, this morning was just bliss compared to midweek days, Effie. And as I say, I gave myself a little pit stop on the way. And Kurobokan, here's Mutiari, and once again it's a swing and a miss outside off stump. So here we go. Thank you to the amazing technical team we have at the Bali Outside Broadcast guys, the Bali Streaming Solutions, if I remember correctly is their name. So at the end of the third over now, we've got Ricoro on 3, Hazelman on 1, Fiji 7 without loss, and that means that Putri's going to begin her second over. So, pretty good start from Fiji, you'd have to say, Effie. No wickets down, particularly in the face of Mutiari's bowling. She's quite impressive, isn't she?
I think on the second leg, as we've said before, all the players have a read with each other. They know what kind of bowlers they are, what kind of batters they are, so everyone knows each other by now, so they already made some adjustments, and we see Fiji here.
So it's going to be Hazelman on strike. Sorry, Effie, your microphone just dipped out there, so just double check that. This time Hazelman's driving up to mid off, and it was a misfield up there.
Check,
so they get
check.
Yep, it's good now. It's
Yep.
good. It's good. I can hear you now.
Seems the
And
microphone is on and off.
anyway, Fiji gets to go through for a single. So that takes Hazelman on to 2, with her Ricoro on 3. And Effie, I've got a question for you, and maybe some of our viewers have the same question. Why does Indonesia change its uniform every second day? Here is Putri bowling this time, and it's lofted into the leg side.
That's actually a good question where I cannot answer. It's a team.
It's not working, mate. Something wrong with your mic, mate. I can't hear you. I can hear your voice, but I don't think it's coming through the microphone.
Oh, okay.
Okay, no, it's
No,
good now.
it's-
It's
It's
good.
good now. So,
Yeah,
it's on
why
off.
do they change the uniform every day? It's
I'm not
like,
really sure because it's the team's decision, it's captain's decision. So I guess I wasn't in team meeting, so I'm not really sure what they decided. But maybe they wanted to have a change and feel good in some of the uniforms they use. So, or it's a captain's decision maybe.
I
Which
was
one's lucky day, which one's not.
I was thinking it was more to do with overnight laundry, actually, but I just wondered, like,
No, I mean the laundry. If you put it this morning, it will come on the same day. So it's
Yeah.
no problem. But,
agreed,
yeah.
agreed. Depends how much you're willing to pay, of course. In my area, I pay for the 2-day service because I'd miss tight and I don't want to.
Well, thankfully.
Well, no, I'm not tight. I mean, I am, but you know what I'm saying.
Thankfully for ICC, they cover all the laundry for the teams. So yeah, it's free laundry for everyone.
Anyway, Indonesia in their traditional red today, red and white, matching the colours of the national flag. Here is Putri once again, and it's defended by Hazelman. So as we come towards the end of the fourth over, Fiji 9 without loss. Be interesting to see what happens after this, Afi.
Yep.
Do you think Murtiari will bowl another over, or do you think they'll just bring Lee Chow and Bungie on straight away and just try and strangle the life out of the Fiji top order? Here comes Putri, and this is driven
So I think
up to mid-wicket.
the Indonesia team strategy, they would want to attack the batters. So I think they would bring Devi again, just keep attacking them. But we'll see here.
I think there's still something wrong with your microphone, Afi.
Oh, no, actually,
It's just not coming through clearly in my earphones. It's dropping in and out. It might be fine. I just
could be the wind, maybe.
no, that's fine
Yeah,
now.
I think it's
perfect.
the wind.
Oh yeah. It could be the wind.
So
Exactly.
Sandra actually gonna bowl. So Sandra is another spinner. So she will take over the pace bowlers.
Yes, of course. Hailing
of
from
pace
the Papua province
Papua,
of
correct.
Indonesia, the easternmost province of Indonesia. She obviously also opens the batting. She generally just likes to flight it up as she's done here, and it's pulled away towards mid-on by Rokoro, and it's fielded there, and there's no run. Yeah, Sandra Bara, she's a little bit slower than the other spinners. She's a left-arm orthodox spinner, and once again it's flighted up, beats the outside edge of Rokoro's bat through to Pratiwi. There's no run there. Here she comes again. And this one's lofted up towards mid-on, but on the bounce, it's fielded there and no run. So a good start by Sandra Bara. So Afi, if I'm not mistaken, in this Indonesian lineup at the moment, as we see this next ball, is pulled behind square. There's a chance of a run out at the non-striker's end, but they get through for a single. Yeah, Bara, is she the only player in the side at the moment from Papua?
There is, well, yeah, currently in the 14 squad, but there we have 18 squad, which has another player from Papua, and I think she's watching at the tribune area of the spectators. Her name is Carola.
Oh, I see. And so for people around the world that may not understand the geography of Indonesia, this is, I suppose, partly my geekiness. Here comes Bara again. And this one is just defended into the offside. And that is the end of the fifth over. Fiji 10 without loss. Papua is a province of Indonesia which is on the west side of New Guinea Island. And of course, one of the other teams in this tournament is Papua New Guinea, which is on the other side of the island.
Correct.
And geographically speaking, because I'm such a geek, New Guinea Island is the second biggest island in the world after Greenland. So,
Interesting fact.
so Indonesia occupies probably about a third of it, give or take.
Yeah.
And of course, if anyone's thinking about coming to Indonesia, one of the most famous places in Indonesia is Raja Ampat,
Correct.
which is part of the Papua province. So Google that, Raja Ampat. I still haven't made it yet. Have you been there yet, Effie?
No, I haven't been there yet, but I really want to go there. It's, as you know, it's famous for its diving spot, where only a few people can actually go there. And yeah, they said it's amazing. So yeah, one day I'll try to get there.
Anyway, Lee Chow's into the attack, the Indonesian captain. She's a right arm leg break bowler. Unbelievably good player as well, it has to be said. And this is what I thought Indonesia might do. I thought they might take Mutiari out of the attack because she hadn't taken a couple of wickets. Just bring the spinners on quickly and just build pressure. And Lee Chow, as we know, as the Indonesian captain, is a very, very good leg spin bowler. She's represented Indonesia at the under-19 level previously at a World Cup. So she wears number 23, like the late, great Shane Warne. And she bowls with the same style. This one's skied in the air, but it's over backward point. Will Fiji come back for 2? They thought about it, but they settled for just the 1. So that takes Hazelman on to 3. With her Ricoro on 6, but also Effie, not just diving, but Raja Ampat has some very unique islands. It's kind of like, Thailand gets a lot of praise, let's say, on Instagram, and perhaps due to its popularity for many, many years. But I've been watching Raja Ampat lately. It's a very nice place.
Yes, the natural beauty of it.
This one's cut by Hazelman to backward point. There's no run. So a tidy first over from Lee Chow, just 1 off it. So after 6 overs, Fiji are 11 without loss.
It's a good stuff from Fiji. Without
Yeah.
loss for today.
Well, it was interesting having a chat to their coach back on Thursday, and he just said, look, we don't set goals for our team. It's not about run rate. It's not about this. He just said, look, just go out and play as Bara starts a new over. And this one's lofted back to Bara, caught and bowled, and Hazelman's on her way. It was a nice delivery from Bara. It was floated up there. Hazelman tried to smash it back over her head, didn't time it, and Bara, in her second over, she now has 1 for 1. But yeah, just going back to what the coach of the Fiji side said. He said, look, I don't want to set targets for you. I don't want to analyse your data. But he did say before the tournament, wouldn't it be cool if we could score 70 or 80? Right. And you know exactly what happened the other day, right? They got to what, 74, 75?
83.
83 was it in the end, yeah. And I found that very, very illuminating, It was just like, let's just try and improve every single game. Every single game, let's try and improve. And even if you look at the start, okay, they're only on 11, and this one's pulled nicely by Wangani Sao, the Fiji captain, and she gets through for a single, so they move on to 12 for 1. But even if you look at this, right, they're 6.2 overs in, and they're a third of the way through their innings. They've only lost 1 wicket against some very good bowling. This one's cut nicely to backward point. It's picked up there. But it's fascinating as an impartial observer, and just to see how Fiji's going about their business. I mean, it's I think we all know they're probably not going to qualify. Or that one's just short of point, and it was fielded there by Ramilia, and there's no run. But yeah, I mean, Fiji's probably the weakest side in this tournament, but it's just fascinating to see how they've approached the game today. It's just like, let's not give our wickets away easily. Let's not make Indonesia feel like we're easy beats. And yeah, I mean, okay, they're only on 12 at the moment, but they've got 9 wickets in hand, and I'm super impressed with the start by Fiji today. Here comes Barrow again. This one's cut away. Oh, and there was a chance. There was Norelia at backward point. She got her hands to it, couldn't take the catch, and Hazelman it was who struck that one away. She gets 2. So, fortune on her part, Hazelman. Unlucky a little bit for Indonesia, and particularly the bowler Sandra Bara. But that is the end of the over. 7 overs gone now. So Fiji, 14 for 1. Just going along at 2 and over.
What do you think the Fiji target should be now? Because obviously they've achieved 80 last game. Like, you're the coach. What would be the things you're saying to the girls now? Like, what should be your target?
Well, that's a tough one as Lee Chow begins a new over with a wide outside off stump. It's kind of hard. I mean, Fiji got that total chasing Samoa's high total of 151 back on Thursday. So there was not really a lot of pressure on them, right? This is a different situation. They're batting first. And, you know, the one thing that sets Indonesia aside from the other teams in this tournament is the spinners, right? The rest of the teams, I mean, I don't mind saying this, the quality of the Indonesian spinners, aside from the fact that they've got some, is quite high. And so how Fiji approaches this is a matter that remains to be seen. But I don't know, is Bungie playing today? Is she in the 11? I didn't check the sheet actually. Is she in there? She must be in there somewhere. Yeah, she's there. So she hasn't bowled yet. So I don't know. I think that's a lovely shot there by Wangani Sao. To answer your question, I reckon they're going along at 1.96 at the moment. Obviously, they can pick up that run rate, but they have wickets in hand. So I reckon from here, so they've got, 12 overs after this at 4 and over, let's say. 12.48 plus 16, 54, 60. I reckon about 70. 70 would be what I reckon they're aiming for at the moment. This next one from Hazelman to Hazelman is cut behind square, straight to the fielder there, and that is the end of the over. Fiji now, after 8 overs, they're 16 for 1. Another good over there from Lee Chow, just conceding the 2 runs. She's bowled 2 overs so far, none for 3. Hazelman's there on 4. With her captain, Wangani Sao, she's on 2. And Ramalia is into the attack now. I've been waiting to see this for a while. Here she comes, Ramalia. And the first ball is lobbed up. It's a big full toss, and it's swept away beautifully by Wangani Sao out to the boundary for 4. So when I say I've been waiting to see Ramalia bowl, it's because if you've been in a cave or sleeping for the last month, Ramalia, in her senior debut for Indonesia just a couple of weeks ago, took 7 for no wicket. Here she is. And this one's lofted up towards mid-off. It's going to be a catch. It's well taken by Murtiari, and that is the end of Wangani Sao. That's a huge wicket for Indonesia. The Fiji captain and the danger batter chased that one from Romalia. It was beautifully floated up with a lot of loop, and it was a attempt to hit it through the leg side by Wangani Sao. She lobbed it up towards mid-off, and Murtiari, she made no mistake under that. That's a big wicket for Indonesia, and Fiji now are 20 for 2. Romalia gets her first wicket, and she has 1 for 4. Just while we're having a change of innings, the story with Romalia is that although she's obviously eligible to be playing under 19s, that's why she's playing today, she actually hasn't bowled in the last 2 matches. She did bowl on the first day, and I wasn't here for that. So I've never actually seen her bowl before, but I know her name. And how do I know her name? Because I read it on the BBC Sport website, because she took 7 for 0 for the Indonesia senior women's side in her first ever match for the senior side against Mongolia a couple of weeks ago. And so yeah, she's made, well, her performance has contributed to Indonesian cricket becoming a name, so to speak, as this one is massively flighted up again. It's a full toss. It's swept away by the new batter Wati, and they go through for a single. I just want to have a look at Romalia's action here. I'm sitting at extra cover, so it's hard to read. But she looks like a leg break bowler, and that one's cut behind square, out towards the boundary. There's a chase out there, 2 fielders going for it. They've cut it off. I think Bara it was that ended up throwing it back. And Fiji get through for 2. That was Hazelman. So she moves on to 6. Fiji on to 23 for 2. Yes, she looks like a leg break bowler, Romalia. She really gives it some flight. This one's driven up to mid-off. There's a chance there. Mutiawi throws it at the stumps, but they get through for the single. So Hazelman moves on to 9. Here's Romalia again. Right arm over the wicket to the left-handed Wati, who pulls that one away behind square. There's 2 fielders out there. Noralia fields it on the boundary, and they just get through for a single. So at the end of 9 overs, Fiji now 28 for 2. Wati's on 3. Hazelman, the opener, still there on 9. And Romalia, off her first over, conceded 12. So I think it's going to be Lee Chow to continue. In fact, no, there's a bowling change. I think this is Panun coming into the attack. She's a right-arm medium pacer. Pretty sure that's her coming on. Certainly recognise her from previous days. She hasn't bowled from the northern end of the ground in this, well, over the previous 2 matches. But it is going to be Panun from the Kuta end of the ground, bowling to Hazelman. And that's a full toss first up. Just played away up to sort of a short mid-on. It's fielded there by Romalia, and there's no run. So Indonesia making changes in their bowling order. Here comes Panun again. This time it's lifted out towards the square leg boundary, and it's cut off there nicely by Murtiari. She ran in off the boundary, realised she wasn't going to get to it, and just stopped and hesitated and made sure she didn't concede anything more than a single. So very, very good fielding there by Murtiari, of course the Balinese player. So it's going to be Wati to take strike now. Here comes Pinon. And she's struck on the pad. There's an appeal. But Pinon's bowling right arm over the wicket to a left-hander. So it's always going to be difficult to get an LBW decision in your favour in that situation. And it was declined on this situation. So it's a dot ball in the scorebook. Here comes Pinon again. This one's outside the line of off stump. Wati tries to slash it away behind point, but it was wide of the off stump, signalled wide. So a single conceded there by Indonesia. Fiji move on to 30 for 2. Here's Pinon again, racing in, and Wati this time tries to swing it away through the leg side, doesn't really make contact. I think that cannoned into her pad, so it's a dot ball in the scorebook. So this is a good over from Pinon. Two balls left to go. She's only conceded 2 off this over so far. As the sun comes out once again here at Udiana Cricket Ground, and this one's down the leg side, and Wati tried to whip it away behind square, didn't make contact. So obviously that was close enough to the batter's legs to not be given a wide, even though it was down the leg side. So well bowled by Pinon as she comes in again for the last ball of her over. And Wati this time swings at one outside off stump. Doesn't make contact through to the keeper, Pratiwi. And that is the end of the 10th over. So halfway through the innings, Fiji 30 for 2. So very, very solid start by Fiji. Not the best of run rates, only 3 and over, but 8 wickets in hand. Let's see what happens after the drinks break with 10 overs to go. We're back now, and it's a new over beginning, and it's Bungie into the attack, the other Indonesian leg break bowler, complimenting her captain Lee Chow. She's from Nusa Tenggara Timur. It's East Nusa Tenggara. Very, very impressive bowler, with quite a remarkable story as well, as she beats the outside edge of the bat again. She basically came into training about a month ago, and someone dropped out of the squad through injury, and she got elevated into the team, and she's been magnificent in this tournament. That one's flighted and clean bowled! It was a full-length delivery. Hazelman tried to whack it down the ground. She was deceived in the flight. It was a beautiful Yorker-length delivery from Bungie, and that's a wicket for Indonesia, and aren't they happy? Just looking at it again, it was a high looping delivery, but on a great length, and it took out Hazelman's off stump. So she's on her way, and Bungie in her first over strikes. Fiji now 30 for 3. So it's going to be Silavia now, the new batter. Bungie bowling to her from the southern end. And Silavia, first ball, crashes that one through mid-on. And it's it beat the fielder, but it didn't travel as far as I thought it might have done. And they were only able to get through for a single. So Silavia off the mark, first ball. That brings Wati on to strike the left-hander. So a few changes in the field. Indonesia has a point cover mid-off on the offside, on the leg side, wide mid-on, mid-wicket, backward square, and then couple of boundary riders, including the one here, which is Norelia. She comes in off the boundary as Wati swept it out to her. Just the one run on that occasion. So just a bit full there from Bungie. And in fact, it's been called a no ball. It was too high. Have to say I don't really understand that rule. She's a spin bowler. There was no danger of the batter getting hit, but anyway, doesn't matter. It's going to be a free hit. And Silavia has a wild swing at that, but it beats the outside edge. Unfortunately for Indonesia, Pratiwi couldn't gather it cleanly, and they got through for a bye. This next one is played to backward point. There's a throw from Bara to the striker's end, or non-striker's end, but they get through for a single, so it's one run to Wati. That is the end of the 11th over. Wati is on 5. Silavia is on 1, and Fiji now 35 for 3. So the new over's beginning. It's going to be Panun to carry on from the Kuta, or the northern end of Udiana Cricket Ground. And this one's high in the air, but it falls between 3 fielders. And Wati, she slashed at that one. Got a thick outside edge, but managed to... In fact, they didn't even take a run. I thought they probably would have got through for a single there, but probably wisely didn't take a single. This time Wati works this one away into the leg side between the fielders. She gets through for a single. Takes Fiji on to 36. So Panun, very accurate so far, as she has been in the last few matches. Comes off about 10 paces. She comes in now, right arm over the wicket. Bowling to the right-handed Sylvia, who crashes that one high in the air, over wide mid-on, and out to the boundary for 4. Wow. As Effie comes back to join me, that was some shot, Effie.
That is indeed. That was going the first boundary, I think, or is it a couple of boundaries that Fiji has scored? They're going to 40 now.
Certainly the first boundary from Sylvia, and the first boundary off Panun's bowling. Fiji's actually going along all right. Here we go. Here is Panun again. And Sylvia this time tries to whack it, and she's got the outside edge. Beautifully bowled by Panun. It was taken by Pratiwi behind the stumps. An outside edge, and Indonesia now have Fiji in a spot of bother at 40 for 5. Isn't that amazing? Let's just have a look at the replay. So Panun came in the middle of the crease. It was flighted up. I think it was an inside edge and was taken very low down by Pratiwi. That was a very good catch. They're never easy when it comes off the inside edge, but she took it well. And
Might have read the ball there by Sandhya Pratiwi. So good on her. Caught the ball pretty low near the ground, near the grass, but yeah, well taken there by Sandhya. So now, new batters coming in.
yeah, this is Vuli. She batted further down the order back on what day away today? Thursday it was. She came in around 9. She faced about 25 balls, I think, from memory. So she stayed there for a while. Looks like she's got a different approach today. First ball, she tried to smash it all the way to Denpasar, but didn't make contact. Maybe it's just a tactical change here from Fiji. It's just saying to Vuli, look, just go out there, have a blast, see what you can do. And that's exactly what she does off the next ball. Hammers that one down to deep mid-on. It's fielded. She gets through for a single. Yeah, I sort of got the impression the other day that Vuli was sort of caught in two minds. You know, Fiji was chasing a mammoth target from Samoa. What was 151, I think they were chasing. And I felt like she was in, how should we say, no women's land. And she was just a bit too defensive. Yep. So I think this is great tactics from Fiji and particularly Wangani Sao, the captain, and the coach as well, to say, look, just go out there and just bat.
Yep. Yep. No pressure, just try to be yourself and have a blast actually.
You might just want to check your microphone again, Effie. I'm still not sure that's working. Maybe just a bit closer to your your mouth. I just can't hear you.
Yeah, it could be the wind.
Yep, that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. Mic sensitivity.
So it's
as well.
Murtiari back into the attack now. So Indonesia going in for the kill, so to speak. And this one is an inside edge or a French cut. Down to
Missed
short
some
third.
there.
Oh, sorry, short fine leg. And Fiji go through for a single. So that's 1 to Vuli. She moves on to 2. Brings Wati on to strike. Fiji 42 for 2. Just 1 ball into the 13th over. Yeah, the wind is causing problems here. Not for the players, but certainly for me and Affy. I've got my team sheets going all over the place at the moment.
Certainly more wins than a couple of days ago.
This time Wati's looking to swing that one away through the leg side. There's a shout for LBW. I'd really like to see Murtiari go round the wicket to the left-handed Wati, actually. I mean, I know that she's an unbelievably good bowler, and her line and lengths are immaculate, but
It's interesting
Just-
to see that she hasn't got any wickets today.
yeah, but she's only conceded 4 runs as well. This one's a full toss. Played back to her. But you see what I'm saying, right, is that she's so good at what she does, but, and this is being hypercritical, of course, I'd just love to see her go round the wicket to the left-hander and bring LBW into play, you know, a Yorker on off stump, that sort of thing. Having said that, she'll probably get a wicket this ball. Here she comes again, Murtiari. And that's outside the line of off stump. It's a swing and a miss from Wati. It's been a great tournament. Get the feeling already, Affy, that everyone's very refreshed having had a day off yesterday, myself included. Here's Murtiari again. And this one's a good ball. It strikes Wati on the pad, but it must have been perhaps missing leg stump. Of course, we're not in line with the stumps here. We're actually at, well, at this particular moment, we're at sort of wide, well, cow corner really for a left-hander. So I couldn't quite see where that hit her, but probably going down leg side is my guess. Here's Murtiari. This time it's down leg side. I think it might have just brushed the pad, and that is the end of the over. So just 1 run off that over. So Murtiari now has finished 3 overs. She's just conceded the 4 runs. And Fiji, after 13 overs, are 42 for 4.
Yep, that's not too bad for Fiji. Certainly against Indonesia bowlers. As you know, Indonesia bowlers is very good. So that's really a good start from Fiji there with 42 runs so far.
Yeah, well, they're putting themselves in the game, aren't they? As Panun begins a new over. And this first one is angling into the pads of Vuli. She gets an inside edge on it, and Pratiwi comes around from behind the stumps to field, and there's no run there. You're right, though. They're putting themselves in the game, and the secret here is the fact that they haven't lost a lot of wickets.
Correct. I
It's
think it's a good target to have at least bat 20 overs from Fiji side.
this time Vuli's swinging outside the line of off stump, and once again it's caught behind. Panun does it again. Vuli swinging it at a ball outside the line of off stump, got an edge taken by Pratiwi, and Indonesia celebrate another wicket. Fiji now 5 wickets down for 42 runs, and Panun, look at her bowling figures, 2.2 overs, 2 for 8. As we look at the replay here, let's have a look. It was actually very wide. It would have been a wide if Vuli hadn't tried to hit that one. And but you know, who dares wins, as they say. And in this occasion, Panun was the winner with a rubbish ball, basically. But that's what happens. Ian Botha made a whole career out of it. Indonesia now, they must be sensing we've got a great chance here. 5 wickets down, into the tail. Mind you, Lala's just come in now. She can bat.
Okay.
She batted really well on Thursday. She can whack it about the place. So let's see what she can do. Meanwhile, Wati's at the other end. She's done a good job. She's 6 not out off 15 balls. But speaking of doing a good job, Panun, 2 for 8.
Yep. Really good.
She's really impressive, isn't she? Here she comes again. And straight away, Lala's trying to whack that one through square leg. I think there was a off the pad behind the keeper. They go through for 1. Is there a signal from the umpire? Oh, perhaps that was a outside edge past the wicketkeeper along the ground. I think that was just a single. Yeah, it was a single. So Lala's off the mark with 1. Brings Wati back onto strike. Yeah, a bit like Murtiari. Panun's she's obviously comfortable bowling over the wicket, even to a left-hander. Here she comes. And that's a full toss, and Whitey gets the one in the air, but there's a fielder on the backward square boundary, and that's a great throw back as well.
Great throw there.
That was a very good throw. That was, you might have to help me with this pronunciation, actually. This was Ngana?
Ngana, correct.
Nanga.
Ngana. The first
I
time you heard it,
can't say it. It's a bit like the airport. Nyura, right.
Yes,
But
NG, yeah.
Nyanga. It was close enough, yeah? Here comes Panun again. And this one's pulled away up to deep mid-on. Or long on.
Fielder there.
And well fielded there. So Lala gets a second run. Yeah, I really struggle with NG. Really struggle with NG in Indonesia. And for those that are just listening, I've lived in Indonesia for 6 years, and that particular combination of letters N and G I find quite hard. So anyway, I think Effie gave me a kind of a approval there. This time it's swept away behind the wicketkeeper, almost over the top of the wicketkeeper's head actually. Chased back there by Romalia, and they're just going to get a single. So 1 more to Wati. She moves on to 8, with her Lala on 2. So good positive play here by Fiji. Despite the fact they're 5 wickets down, they haven't gone into their shell. So since the wicket, there's been a single off every ball after that. And at the end of the 14th over, Fiji are 46 for 5. So Lee Chow's going to come back into the attack, the Indonesian captain. She's changed ends. And as I alluded to earlier, she's not just a quality player, as she comes off a very short run-up, bowling her leg breaks. Not just a quality player, but she's also played to an extremely high level already, right? She went to the World Cup in South Africa a couple of years ago with the senior side. But what I find incredible about Lee Chow, and I guess it's partly as she comes in again, round the wicket to the left-handed Wati, and she just plays that one away to mid-wicket, and they're able to get through for a single. What I find interesting about Lee Chow, Affy, is that she's just, I mean, even just look at this. She knows which side of the wicket to bowl. She's got leg spinners. She's got googlies. It's just like the ball that she bowled, was it 3 days ago, to get out Farane from Samoa. Yeah. I just watched it on replay, and I could have watched it like 15 times. It was such a good wrong-in. It's just, you know. Yeah, I mean, so Indonesia in this under-19 side are blessed to have someone of her caliber, right?
I mean, she's very well experienced, as you've said. She also represented the national team, so she's well experienced, and yeah, she got a lot of experience from other bowlers too around the team. So yeah, very blessed to have her.
This time, It's a full-length ball, and it's played up to a deep mid-on. They think about coming for 2. Oh, what's going to go on here? Is there a chance for a run-out? No. They just get the 1. So 1 more to Lala. She moves on to 3, brings Wati on to strike. It is interesting, isn't it, when you look at all the players across all the teams, and just watching Lee Chow at the moment, she's obviously got a very clear plan. It's very clear that she's played a lot of cricket. If it's a left-hander facing, I'm going round the wicket. If it's a right-hander facing, I'm going over the wicket. As she comes round the wicket again to the left-handed Wati, and Wati this time is playing it down the ground. Will they come back for 2? Yes, they will. Nice shot there from Wati. It's a bit baseballish, but the important point is that there was a gap there between mid-on and mid-off, and they managed to get back for 2.
The ball still traveled there, so...
How long would Lee Chow have been playing cricket for to get to the level of getting to senior level? I know this is in under 19s, but obviously she plays in the national side as well. It's senior level, as this one is clipped behind the wicket keeper, and Wati goes through for a single. She moves on to 12. But how long would she actually have been playing cricket for, just out of interest?
She's been playing for since elementary, so... I think she's been playing for elementary, so maybe 9 years old. So now she's turning 17 just now, so about 6 years she's been playing cricket, I think.
It's not that long, is it?
Yeah.
To get those skills. But I guess that's also a reflection of the fact that Indonesia cricket has the high performance centre in Bali, and the senior women's side is here permanently in Bali, right?
Correct, yeah. And the development in Bali also, like they've been playing for so long, and they have competitions structure and format for since elementary, senior high, junior high. So yeah, really good to see them actually flourish here in the World Cup qualifier.
It's going to be Panun to continue. She's got 2 for 12 off her 3 overs. So this is the last over of her spell from the Kuta end. And this one's a full toss. It's swept away by Wati, and it's misfielded out there on the boundary, and it goes for 4. So that's one of the first mistakes I've seen in the field today from Indonesia. A little bit unlucky, depending on which way you look at it, depending on which side you support. It was just too full from Panun. It was outside the off stump actually, and Wati just picked it up early, and it was misfielded out there on the boundary by Ngana, which is unfortunate for her, as the next ball beats Wati outside the line of off stump, taken by Pratiwi. But just on that, Effie, like, so what is the average amount of time, give or take, kira, that most of the under-19 side would have actually been playing cricket? As Wati this time lofts that one behind square. There's a fielder out there again. That is Ngana, and they get through for a single. Yeah.
So
how long on average?
On average, I would say about 5-6 years they've been playing cricket so far. Yeah, obviously in different levels. NTT, they have the sports school in NTT, obviously. Bali, they've been playing since elementary. And yeah, Jakarta have their junior program just running now. So yeah, different levels and different stages.
That's a lovely shot, just whipped away there by Lala. Slightly short from Panun. And Lala just lifted it over the fielder at mid-wicket. And
obviously we've picked the best out of those places. And they've been training together since January. So, sorry, maybe more. Since November, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, they've been here together since last year.
It's not a lot of cricket, though, is it? Like, I mean, I imagine for some of the other teams that will actually be, well, here's Panun again. 2 balls to go in the over. That is beating Wati as she tries to play that through the leg side. But yeah, I mean, if you look at some of the other sides that are definitely going to be in the Under-19 World Cup, a lot of them have probably been playing since they're 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
So it's a massive experience gap, isn't it?
It is.
anyway, whoever wins this 4-team tournament is going to have a hell of an experience getting to go to a World Cup. And this next one, again from Panun, beats Wati outside the line of off stump. She finishes the over on 17 with her Lala on 4. Fiji, with 4 overs left, are 57 for 5. As Bungie begins her second over, that one's played away through the leg side by Lala. She moves on to 5, as if he has to shoot away and attend to his tournament duties. So Lala's on 5 off 6, with her Wati, who's back on strike, 17 off 26. So Wati's batting extremely well here. But she's facing Bungie, who's a very, very talented bowler. Right arm leg break or leg spin. Both words are common usage, but basically turning the ball away down the left-hander's leg side. As this one, Wati, not sure if she got bat on that or not. It went behind the wicketkeeper, Pratiwi. In fact, it's a leg by, so it hit her pad. So one further run to the Fiji total. That takes them on to 60. Yeah, so Bungie, for those of you that don't know too much about spin bowling, she's trying to, so now we've got a right-hander on strike. So she's trying to turn the ball away from the right-hander, bounce on the wicket and turn it away. This one's a little bit too short though, and it's pulled into the outfield to backward, or in front of square in fact. Fielded out there, and that was Lala. She moves on to 7. Oh, sorry, she moves on to 6 off 7 balls. Which brings Wati back onto strike. So Bungie's natural delivery here is to bounce the ball and make it spin sideways in towards Wati. So she probably wants to put it just outside her off stump and bring it back in towards her. Let's see what she can do. And Wati this time hoists that into the outfield, and it went over the head of the fielder out there. I thought she had a chance. That was Murtiari. Perhaps she just misjudged it, and her fellow fielder there, very nice gesture from her. That was Noralia came over and said, look, don't worry. Murtiari, I think she just came in too fast off the boundary there, and it went over her head and bounced over the boundary for 4. So a chance, albeit a hard one. Here's this next delivery from Bungie into Wati. She's on 21 off 29 now. That was just into her pads and was defended away. This next one's pulled away. It's out into the boundary, and Noralia got to it, but she just couldn't quite take it. So that's 2 chances in this over. So Fiji riding their luck here. Wati, she's starting to middle the ball nicely here, but assisted by the Indonesia fielders, just not able to take their chances. So she moves on to 22, Wati. 1 ball left in this 17th over. Here's Bungie. It's a good ball, and it beats the batter. That was Lala. It also beat the keeper, Pratiwi. They go through for a bye, in fact. So Fiji, they're winless in the tournament so far, But as we heard from their coach yesterday, they had a goal at the start of the tournament to score around 75 or 80, and they managed to do that yesterday, batting second in a losing run chase, where they scored, they were chasing 151, and they finished up on about 84, 85. But they're batting first here today. They're on their way to setting a target. They're 67 for 5 with 3 overs to go. And Nuralia, she's coming into the attack. She's the opening bowler oftentimes for Indonesia. She hasn't bowled in the last couple of games because Indonesia has so much depth with its bowlers. But she's very tall, and she's obviously quite distinctive because she wears the hijab, which I think most people understand what that means. It means she's obviously Muslim, which is fairly normal when you come from Indonesia. Here she comes, Nuralia. That's outside the line of off stump through to the keeper Pratiwi, and there's no run. But just to elaborate on that, a big chunk of the Indonesian side either come from Bali, which is a Hindu island, or Nusa Tenggara Timur, which is kind of a mix of all religions. So the only obvious player wearing the hijab is Nuralia, and she's from Java Island, Jakarta in fact. This one's full and wide, and it's signalled a no ball, so this is going to be a free hit. So Lala here has an opportunity. But yes, Indonesia is a country of about 280 million, but the vast majority of the population is spread across Java, which has about 140 million, Java Island, and Sumatra to the west of that. Here's Nuralia again. And this time, they can't really cash in, but they're going to go through for a leg bye. So that's well run. So not too much damage done there for Indonesia. Yeah, so Sumatra, which is the furthest west island in Indonesia, and then you've got Java, where the capital Jakarta is. The vast majority of the population are on those two islands. But interestingly enough, the Indonesian women's cricket side is not so much from those areas, actually. It's a little bit different to the men's side. A lot of the women's side come from more central areas of Indonesia, like Bali and Nusa Tenggara Timur. There's this next one from Nuralia. Wati tries to sweep that one, doesn't quite hit it cleanly, through to the keeper Pratiwi, and there's no run. But yes, the west of Indonesia is very much Muslim concentrated. Bali is a Hindu island, predominantly, about 90%. And then to the east of Indonesia, there's a lot of Christianity. This next one, Wati tries to pull that one away, and there's a nick. And, in fact, it was an LBW. I thought that was a nick. Wati, she can't quite believe it. She was falling over. It was a full toss, actually. And she was struck on the pad, and Nuralia has the wicket. Big blow there for Indonesia, and I think Lala is actually hurt here. Oh, sorry, Wati, she's hurt. Just looking at the replay, yeah, it was a looping full toss, and it struck her on the knee, actually, right in front of the stump. So it was definitely LBW, but I think it must have hit her just above the knee roll, square on the knee joint. So hopefully she's okay, Wati, and she's walking off slowly now, but that's very painful. She was trying to sweep it, and it just got above the pad, the natural height of the pad. So it's definitely out. It was definitely going to hit the middle stump. But it's never fun to see a batter get dismissed injured. Hopefully she'll be okay, and it won't affect the rest of the tournament. But scorecard-wise, Fiji 70 for 6, so they're well and truly in this match. Bearing in mind that Indonesia hasn't exactly scored loads of runs in this tournament. They scored 71 a couple of days ago against Samoa, batting first. And they've chased down targets, but they haven't been big targets. So Fiji is in this with 2.5 overs to go. They're going along at a run rate of 4 and over. Raika Talau's come out to the crease to join Lala. So if they could just add maybe another 15 to 20 runs off this last 2.5 overs, let's see what happens. This next one's outside off stump from Noralia. She's a very tall player, Noralia. Easily the tallest in the Indonesian side. She's got good pace as well. And Indonesia just has so many bowling options. It's kind of incredible. Noralia hasn't bowled for the last couple of games. Here she is again. It's outside off stump. It's a wide. And similarly, Romalia, of course, who made world headlines with her 7 for 0 on her debut for the Indonesian senior side, she didn't bowl for the last 2 games either. So Indonesia, if it was just a game of bowling, they'd probably be world champions. Here comes Noralia. It's outside off stump and it's wide. Raika Talau reaching for that one. No chance of getting bat on that. So there's 2 balls left in the over, so that's 3 wides and 2 no balls in this over. But the crucial thing, of course, is the wicket that Noralia got with that LBW of Wati. So yes, 2 balls left. Here she comes in again from the Kuta end, and this is just defended by Raika Talau. Oh, they go for a single. Oh, that was sneaky, and they got there. So that was good thinking there from Lala. She called Raika Talau through. I thought that they were not going to run for that, but Raika Talau was watching what perhaps some of us weren't, and she thought, right, let's go for a run. And she did. And here comes the next ball to Raika Talau. She pulls that one away behind square. Oh, that's a great bit of fielding out there. Just in front of the commentary position. Excellent, excellent work by Romalia there. She came round to her right. It was travelling quickly behind square. She cut it off, and it was just the single. So well done there. Or in fact, it was 2. So Fiji, with 2 overs left, are 75 for 6. So Murtiari's coming back into the attack now, the opening bowler. Oh, it's a beautiful delivery. Raika Talau struck on the pad, probably a little bit high. It was a half shout from Murtiari. But just to give you an idea of Murtiari's ability, a couple of days ago, she bowled 4 overs for 4 runs. Right now, she's bowled 3.1 overs for 4 runs. She's incredibly accurate, very hard to get away. Just an impeccable line and length as she comes in again over the wicket. That's a full toss and clean bowled! Raika Talau. It was a full toss. Perhaps beat him for pace. Perhaps just didn't pick up the length. But the leg stump knocked out of the ground. And Murtiari, wow, she's some bowler. Fiji now 75 for 7. Just looking at this again. It was looped up. It could have been defended. She was half-hearted in her shot, Raika Talau, and she's on her way. And this first ball to Izameli was outside the line of off stump from Murtiari, swinging away. It beat everyone, in fact, and in fact it was off the bat. It was an outside edge actually. Went down to the boundary for 4. It was a beautiful ball from Murtiari, and Izameli just managed to clamp down on that with a thick outside edge and down to the boundary for 4, which gives you an idea of Murtiari's pace. She doesn't look particularly quick, and the outfield's not that fast, but that raced away for 4. So that just doubled the runs conceded by Murtiari. She'd only conceded 4 before this ball. Now she's conceded 8. Here she is again. Oh, and she beats Izameli outside off stump. So just 1 ball left in her spell now. In fact, 2 balls left in her spell. Here's Murtiari. She comes in again to Izameli. Oh, she's playing and missing through to Pratiwi, and there's no run. Once again, Izameli's beaten outside off stump. That is the end of Murtiari's spell. She finishes with the magnificent figures of 1 for 8 off her 4 overs. And with 1 over remaining in the innings, Fiji are 79 for 7. So it's going to be Naralia to bowl the last over of the innings. Here she comes in from the Cooter end, and it's swung away down towards long on. Nice connection there from Lala, but it's only going to be the single. Here's Naralia again. 5 balls left in the innings. And this one's just defended by Izameli. So Fiji 80 for 7. Here's Naralia again, and once again Izameli can't get that one away. It's just defended into the covers. So Fiji really needs to get Lala on strike here, or Izameli needs to have a swing, I would have thought, with three balls left. But they've got 80 on the board. This is a very competitive total for Fiji, seeking their first win of the tournament. That one's outside the line of off stump, and it's through to the keeper, Pratiwi. So this is good bowling from Naralia. 4 balls gone in the over, the last over of the innings. Just 1 run conceded so far. Oh, and this is an outside edge. There's no one back there at third, but it's not going to go all the way. Bungie chases back, and restricts the scoring to 2. So always a good ploy if you're a batter at the end of the innings. No third back, no fine leg. Always good to get an outside edge because it's a completely unprotected part of the ground. So Not that she intended it, but Isabelli's picked up 2 runs. That adds 2 more to the total. Could be crucial. Here is the last ball of the innings. It's Noralia. And it's a wide of the off stump. Isabelli wisely leaves it alone. And 1 ball to go. Here's Noralia, in again, and Isabelli swings and misses, and that is the end of the innings. So Fiji batting first. It's a very, very good performance from them. 83 for 7 off their 20 overs, and Indonesia, when we come back in 10 minutes' time, is going to have to score 84 to win. So this match is absolutely in the balance. We'll catch you again in 10 minutes' time.
Another copy. No, I've got it in my bag. Morning, Andy.
Hey, mate. Well, that was a rapid change of innings. And so Fiji, they literally will be smelling victory here. And it's going to be Izameli to open the bowling as usual. She'll be bowling from the southern or Uluwatu end of the ground. So Indonesia, it's going to be Pratiwi to face the first ball. That one's outside the line of off stump. And Pratiwi just lets that one go through the wicket keeper. And at the other end is Sandra Bara, sorry. And so this is the normal, it's pretty much been a standard opening pairing for Indonesia throughout this tournament to date. Equally, Izameli has pretty much bowled from the southern end the whole time to open the bowling. That one swept into the leg side by Pratiwi, fielded at mid-wicket, and there's no run. And so Indonesia, you would have thought before this game that on paper, given that they've had 2 victories out of 3 matches and Fiji has not had a win yet, you would have thought that Indonesia would be favourites. But as a welcome Toby from the ICC into the commentary position, Toby, this is not a done deal by any stretch, is it?
G'day, Andy. It's a pleasure to be here. Good to be joining you here on day 4 of the Under-19 Women's Qualifier here. No, I think you're spot on. Definitely not a done deal. It will come down to really how well Fiji can bowl, and from a Fiji perspective, they'll be looking to get some early wickets and put the pressure right on Indonesia. But bear in mind, this Indonesian lineup, they've got some quality batters at the top of the order, and if they can just build some early partnerships, they'll be confident of chasing the score of 82.
Yeah, but it's not a... I suppose what I mean, Toby, is that Indonesia hasn't... You say they've got good quality batters, but I suppose what I'm trying to say is this next one's just defended away, and it's a good start by Izameli. She's just conceded the 2 wide so far. They haven't got a batter to date in the tournament, let's say compared to Samoa, for example, with someone like Farani, who can dominate. I haven't seen that from Indonesia yet. So for that reason, this target of 84 as Izameli comes in again, and this one's pulled away by Pratiwi. There's a fielder, well, coming across from mid-off, and just the one. But I suppose what I mean to say is that Fiji's really put themselves into this game because Indonesia hasn't scored big totals, either setting a target or chasing targets. So, I don't know, I kind of feel like an upset could be on the cards here, if you could call it an upset.
Yeah, it would certainly be an upset. I mean, Indonesia are the defending champions in this tournament. But yeah, you're spot on. I mean, Indonesia have yet to really break a game in terms of their batting, but hopefully for Indonesia's sake, they can play to their strengths and just rotate the singles, probably just like that, where if they can score off more balls than not, it doesn't need to be the big boundaries, but just keep rotating the strike. I think they give themselves every chance of a win here. So,
just Toby, I think the issue is with the wind. I noticed last time I was here in a different tournament, the Dinesh, who I was commentating with, he was literally kind of doing it like a DJ, and so just try and keep that mic right up to your mouth. It's just the breeze today. That's the end of the first over. Indonesia 4 without loss, and Izameli just conceded the 2 singles and a couple of wides. But yeah, this is... I get the feeling this could be a how should we say, a banana skin or potential banana skin for Indonesia. It's just, I don't think they bowled particularly badly, but I just think the improvement, and we had the Fijian coach yesterday, 2 days ago, chatting to us in the afternoon, and I just remember vividly him saying, I don't set targets for our side, but let's try and score 75 in the tournament. And then 2 days in a row they've done it, and because of that, Indonesia needs 84 to win, and for the reasons I just outlined, I think Indonesia can win this match. There's no doubt about that. Here's Wangani Sao, the captain, and that's driven by Bara up to cover, and there's no run. Indonesia's obviously got the ability to do it because for why you just said, but in this particular tournament they haven't really batted outstandingly, let's put it that way. And I think that Fiji, with players like Wangani Sao, the captain, who's bowling now, I think that's going to be a leg bye off the pads of Bara. Yeah, it is. They'll feel confident.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think both teams should be feeling confident. It really is a 50-50 game, I'd say, at the moment, and it's great to see another competitive game. And Fiji putting up a really good total. It's going to make things challenging, and look, I think the key still for Fiji is if they can get those early wickets.
Yeah, it's a good point, Toby, because even if you look at what happened in Fiji's innings, they didn't score a lot of runs early on, but they didn't lose any wickets either. And, I mean, it's standard cricket, right? But it's kind of the reverse of what you tend to expect these days in the modern game with the power play. Try and, smash a load of runs early on. But I thought Fiji played it really sensibly. They sort of played to their strengths, and they just didn't lose wickets. And in the end, okay, yeah, they lost 7 in the end, but they didn't lose them early on. Whereas, if you think back to Indonesia was Indonesia Samoa 3 or 4 days ago, Indonesia lost 6 wickets really quickly, and obviously that they can't afford for that to happen here as Bara swings at one outside the line of off stump. So I think Indonesia can probably take a few lessons from how Fiji batted, and 20 overs is a long time. The required run rate's 4.3. It's not massive, so there's no reason to take a load of risks as Bara defends this one.
Yeah, and hasn't it been a positive start here from the Fijian bowlers? The captain here, Mele Wanganasau, she's bowling it in a perfect area, and only 1 run off the bat in that over. They're putting Fiji in an early position, and if you can't get those early wickets, maybe contain the score and keep extras to a minimum. It's wonderful to see, Fiji, the improvement through the tournament, and as you were saying, Andy, we've certainly got a game on our hands here.
We do, and one of the things I loved when we were chatting to their coach yesterday, and he made the point, and so if you take Ismaili, who's coming in now, as this one is just played behind square by Pratiwi, and they go through for a single, well called by Bara. Her action's far from perfect, right? But what he said was, I don't try and tell her how to bowl. I don't want to change her action. I just want her to go in and bowl. And what I loved about that was it just gives her so much freedom, right? So she's coming in now. It's her second over. She's got a chance to win a match for her team. And she's not thinking about, I've got to do this or I've got to do that. I just want to try and get the other girl out, as Bara swings and misses outside the off stump. Oh my goodness, they go through for a very risky bye. Pratiwi was committed to the run. There was a shy at the stumps there from the the wicket keeper, Naiseru, and I think this is her first game of the tournament. Actually, she may have played on the first day. I wasn't here on the first day, but anyway, Indonesia got through for the bye, and so here's Ismaili again. And this time it's played away to backward point. They go through for another single. So this is actually really good running between the wickets by Indonesia. But anyway, Toby, what I was trying to get to was, Ismaili, she'll be fired up right now.
Yeah, she absolutely will be. And she's bowling a really good line and exactly what you'd be hoping for if you are in the Fiji camp at the moment. And likewise, within Indonesia, you can tell what the message is to try and just push those singles. And we've seen the first 3 off this over, a single off each ball. As I say that, Fiji does well to keep that one to a dot ball. But yeah, I can just see this game is going to come down to the last few overs, isn't it?
Has that feel, doesn't it? No early wickets, not a lot of runs early. But I think this is also a good test for Indonesia, right? Like, it's not a massive target, but it's not an easy target. It's a tough target, let's put it that way. As Bara tries to pull this one away behind square, doesn't make contact, it's given wide, and they go through for a run as well. So that's 2 wides. But from Indonesia's perspective, it should be almost like a textbook chase, right? They've got to score at 4.21. They should be able to do that. But already they're off to a good start. They haven't lost any wickets. We're almost at the end of the 3rd over, and they haven't looked in any danger so far. And it's just a great chance for them. As Pratiwi this time is struck on the pad, and she's given. Oh, I think she knew she was out. I think she walked off before even looking up to see if the umpire had given her out, which he had. And Indonesia loses their first wicket. So 11 for 1. Pratiwi's on her way. That brings Romalia to the crease. Wow, Toby, it's... just have a look at this replay here. It was looping up, yeah. It was struck her on the back leg, just below the knee roll, right in front of middle stump. So excellent bowling there from Ismaili. Fiji's got their tails up.
Yeah, perfect area to be bowling. They miss, you hit. Umpire Alu Kappa from Papua New Guinea had no hesitation in raising the finger on that one. Of course, our match officials for the day, Alu Kappa and Marielle Kenny from Vanuatu. So good to see both of them out there in the middle, as we absolutely have a game on our hands. And great breakthrough wicket there for Ismaili. That's exactly where you want to be bowling.
Yeah, it was looped up, but those sorts of deliveries tend to get a few wickets in these sorts of games. As this one's a little bit shorter, and Romalia is just defending that one.
But yeah, from an Indonesian perspective, you talked about this is a good textbook chase. If they are the team that we think and hope that they will be, they just need to keep their composure in this chase. It is only 4.29 and over, so they don't need to do anything too drastic, and they should be able to chase this down. But it's about maintaining your composure, and in these kind of tournaments, a couple of wickets can cause all sorts of panic through the camp. So they'll just be hoping to stay calm and do a professional run chase.
As Wanganui begins a new over with a wide, yeah, it's a good point, Toby. I mean, particularly with Romalia there, who's obviously played at a higher level, and perhaps not widely known for her batting on the international stage, but obviously, this is an example of where she probably can and should bat. Indonesia tend to change their batting lineup and their bowling lineup pretty much every game, but I think possibly, as Bara gets this next one, and I think that's a no ball. It's above waist height. She plays that one away into the leg side, and they get through for a single. But I think Romalia here has an opportunity to show her, her stature as a player that's played in the senior women's side. Yes, of course, she's got a bit of a name for herself because of what she did against Mongolia, which made headlines around the world. But I think from her perspective, this is a great chance for her to try and anchor an innings and support Bara, and then the batters to come after that. And, put her side on the course for victory. Here comes Wangani Sao. This is driven by Romalia into the covers. They think about a single. It's a risky one, but they get through. Romalia dives. How many times have we seen hesitation in this tournament? We haven't actually seen that many run-outs, actually, but it's just the tension, isn't it, Toby?
Yeah, and that's the kind of panic that if you're in the Indonesian camp, you don't really want to be seeing a run out in these early stages. A missed opportunity there for Fiji to really gain momentum, but opportunities are going to come for both teams, so it'll be the team that makes the most of those opportunities. We see a lovely pull shot there from Bara, and should get 2 runs easily.
She's got a good technique, Bara. She hasn't scored a lot of runs in this tournament, but I can see why she's the opening batter for Indonesia. She's actually got a very good technique, and going back to what the Fiji coach said to us yesterday, he said, I'm not too worried about their technique. I'm more worried about their stance and stuff. And you look at someone like Farani, for example, has a very clear method, whereas Bara, she looks like a very, very, how should I say, traditional player, if that makes sense. She's obviously worked very, very hard on getting her technique right, her stance right, getting all the shots, and that pull shot that she just played, it's textbook, really.
Yeah, well, you mentioned, I think, in one of the other games that she's got a bit of Brian Lara about her, and we do know a lot of learning for batters in these parts of the world does come through watching a lot of cricket on YouTube, so maybe she has watched a bit of Brian Lara through the tapes and based her technique on the great Brian Lara.
This next one to Romalia is played to backward point or short third man, and it's fielded there nicely. They just get through for a single. So good bowling from Wangani Sao. Just 1 ball left in this second over. She's got none for 9 at the moment. But Indonesia's doing quite nicely here, scoring off every ball other than 1 dot ball in this over. Their scores moved on to 19 for 1. Coming to the end of the 4th over. Here is Wangani Sao again. And Bara drives that beautifully. Didn't time it completely, but they're going to have time for 2. As the ball runs out to point, or just in front of point. So a nice shot there from Bara. She moves on to 7. And that is the end of the 4th over. So Indonesia off to a very bright start. Current run rate of 5.25, which pushes the required run rate down to 3.94. But most importantly, from Indonesia's perspective, they just lost the 1 wicket. And Toby, that's probably going to be the big factor, right? If Fiji can get a run of wickets, Indonesia go under pressure. If Indonesia carry on just ticking away, Fiji's heads might drop a little bit. As Ismaili begins a new over, and it's pulled away into the leg side by Romalia. It's fielded at mid-wicket. And there's a chance of an overthrow here. That's a little bit sloppy. And Bara totally alert to the possibility of an overthrow as it went past the non-striker's end. It was backed up quite nicely, actually, but Bara was so quick between the wickets. And so that's 2 to Romalia. She's on 4 from 4. And Ismaili, she's going to try and take this wicket. That's just going to be wide outside off stump. And once again, Bara aware to the opportunity. It wasn't picked up cleanly behind the stumps by Naiseru, and Bara, quick as a flash, down to the other end. So this is excellent by Indonesia, isn't it, Toby? They just, every opportunity to add another to the total, they're doing it.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that they might not have necessarily the power hitting to be able to hit those boundaries, but what they do really well is try and score off as many balls as possible and turn those dots into ones into twos. And if you do that, currently going along at a rate of six and over, and if they continue that run rate, they'll chase down this total very comfortably. So it's really good batting from Indonesia, and I think it's what we've come to expect from them.
Yeah, and that shot there was a good example, right? It was a bit short. Bara saw it was short. She pulled it away and out to the fielder on the deep mid-wicket boundary. No danger of getting out. Possibly a chance of getting a boundary if she's hit it one way or the other, as this next one to Romalia is driven to deep point, and Bara straight away off for a single. So if you had to be hypercritical, Fiji here is just giving away too many easy runs. That was hit. Romalia timed that really nicely to deep point, but deep point could have been, let's say, in a little bit further. And in a low-scoring encounter, you can't really afford to give runs away like that. But I think it's like you say, Toby. Indonesia's putting pressure on the Fijian side right now. As this next one is played nicely by Bara, but this time Romalia's like, no, not this time. We're not running for that.
Yeah, and it's great to see from Indonesia that positive intent and looking to score off every ball. You can tell that not happy with any dot balls, and sometimes when you've got that clear frame of mind where you are just trying to score a single at least every ball, it makes it hard, because if you're both on the same wavelength as batters, then you generally will get through. It's when there's hesitation that we see the run-outs happen. So they've got a little bit of tippity going, but yeah,
it's a good point, and not all partnerships work the same, right? I mean, I can think of various partnerships through the history of cricket that were just dreadful running between the wickets, like Martin Crowe and Andrew Jones, for example, in New Zealand, who are both unbelievably good players, but they ran each other out so many times. Here's Bara again, and this one she drives it up to deep mid-on, and she runs with the shot. So that's another, I mean, there was a good bit of fielding there, and the ball was back to the stumps very quickly. It was picked up nicely there by Raika Talau, but Bara was just so quick to take off. And I suppose what I'm seeing in this early stages, or these early stages of the innings, is that we're seeing Fiji's lack of experience actually, and it comes back to what their coach said yesterday. He doesn't overcoach them. He's not going to give them a bunch of tactics. He doesn't look at data. He just wants them to go out there and play the best they can. And things like field settings, having players in or out, it doesn't really come into it for them. This is a massive learning experience, and unfortunately for them, as we've got a new over with Wangani Sao, and this time Bara is looking for a bye, and they'll get a bye. But I guess what I mean to say is that when you've got a player like Bara, who's so quick between the wickets, looking to score off every ball, it's a little bit difficult if you're an inexperienced team, and you can't really fault them for what they're doing. But it's working in Indonesia's favour is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we've seen improvement from the Fijians throughout this tournament, and they are learning. Every team is learning a lot with their field settings and how to keep pressure on the opposition batters. And although there are singles being scored, they are protecting the boundary a lot today as well. So every game is an opportunity to learn for them. And you can see even the effort today. I mean, this game's still got a long way to go, but it's a much improved performance, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. As Wangani Sao, the Fijian captain, once again, it's a nice length, it's a tidy length, but it was well played by Romalia. She just pushed it wide of point, and they're able to get through for a single. But I think also, Toby, that the Fijian side, and maybe we're labouring this too much, is they're underdogs and all that sort of thing. I mean, they've still got every chance of winning this game as Wangani Sao comes in again, and Bara cuts that one away into the point region. It's fielded out there, but they get back for two. Oh, run out! Romalia's been run out. Wow, what a great bit of fielding. I didn't think there was a chance of two there. I just assumed that was going to be a single, and then I saw Romalia diving to get into her ground, and it was run out. That was a little bit cheeky by Indonesia, and they paid the price. But what I was about to say was Indonesia's just picking up too many easy runs, and then suddenly that happens.
That was a very impressive piece of fielding there from Fiji. As we said, Indonesia are looking to turn ones into twos, and unfortunately for their sake just went one too many. But yeah, an impressive throw, clinical really there, directly straight to the bowler, and Wang Nisao perfectly collected the ball, took off the stumps as we see the replay here.
Yeah, let's have a look at Romalia here. Oh, she made her mind up very quickly. She's going for two. And then she realised, oh man, I better run here. It was a great throw, wasn't it? Right over the bails. Yeah, she might count herself slightly unlucky there, Romalia, but I think your point remains, Toby, which I'll come back to, is Wangani Sao. This time is Bara pulling that one away. I don't think they're going to run two here. They'll just take the one. But Indonesia may be getting a little bit carried away with themselves there. They're like, this is getting too easy. We're picking up ones and twos.
Yeah, but overall it's going to probably benefit Indonesia more. If they do lose a wicket or two through a run out like that, they're also gaining a lot more runs. So I think it's still probably the right play for Indonesia to be running with that intent, and it's not every day that there's that perfect throw, directly over the stumps. So, as you said, Romalia can probably consider herself a little bit unlucky.
Yeah.
But it was a very impressive partnership that she had there with Bara.
Yeah, it was just to say Noralia's the new batter, but yeah, I don't think Romalia did anything wrong there. She just, you always take a chance, right? Is the fielder really going to throw the ball right over the bails? Is the bowler going to catch it and take the bails off? And am I going to be out by 1 inch? So yeah, I think you're right, Toby. She was unlucky, and this next one to Noralia, the new batter, is outside the line of off stump from Wangani Sao. So Wangani Sao, none for 17 off 2.5. 2 wides in this over, plus the wicket, plus a couple of singles. 3 singles, in fact. So 1 ball remaining. Indonesia 34 for 2. Here's Wangani Sao. And Noralia has a big swing. And a miss through to the keeper, and that is the end of the over. But yeah, I think your point's right, Toby. It's like it was working for them, right? That little partnership was going really well, and it's not a massive target, but what do they add? 20 odd between the two of them, Romalia and Bara, and they just tried one time too often and just got unlucky through a great bit of fielding.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, if you are in the Indonesia camp, you probably still want to see that again and keep going for your runs. Don't go into your shell.
As Bara plays this one away off the back foot in front of square, out to wide mid-on or wide long on. Bara's looking in good touch here, isn't she? She's playing a shot of ball, and I don't mean that in a negative sense. but she's got all the shots, and you know, not all of the batters in this tournament have the range of shots that she does, but she's scoring, what's she on, 13 off 20, so it's not a run of ball, but I kind of feel like every time she's on strike, something's going to happen.
Yeah, Sandra Bara, hailing from the Papua province, the only player in the Indonesia team, in this team from Papua, and showing exactly why she's being selected. Really looks like a handy cricketer, and yeah, I've loved that positive intent. And you know, she took a little while to get in, but since probably her first 6-7 balls, I think you're absolutely spot on, Andy. She's been going at about a run on a ball.
This one's driven beautifully by Noralia, and it's a misfield, and out to the boundary for 4. That was so unlucky there. It was a great bit of fielding placement by the Fiji skipper with Vuli, 3/4 of the way to the boundary at a, hard to describe, what is that, a halfway between deep extra cover and wide long off. But Noralia timed that well, and Vuli unfortunately misfielded it, and Noralia got away with a 4. And this time she hasn't timed it quite so well. Once again, they go through for a single. It was into the gap at cover, and Bara, she was thinking about 2 again. I think she might just have to say, Noralia might just say, hey, just chill. We're not in that much of a hurry. We're going along at 5.85 and over. We only need 3.34. Here's the next delivery. That's a short ball and hits Bara, I think, in the back, actually. I don't think they hit her in the helmet. And that is the end of the over. So Maui Tonga's over's finished. Conceded just the 6 off that, her first over. Noralia's on 5, Bara's on 13, and Indonesia, chasing 84 to win, are 40 for 2.
And what a shot that was from Hilva Noralia. I feel like we probably didn't make enough of it, but a great cover drive, you know, through the covers. We haven't seen too many of those shots played today. It's a lovely technique Hilva Noralia has there, and yeah, to be able to hit a 4 through the covers.
Well, that's the other thing too, Toby, and it was a misfield, so it touched Vuli's hand as well, and still went away for 4. So it gave you an indication of how well she timed it. Yeah, good point. I should have said more about that at the time. As this next ball is played to. Well, Noralia plays it away into the leg side. It's Raikatalau into her first over. It was a full toss, and I think it came off the toe end of the bat. I'm surprised Bara didn't try and go through for a single there. Could have been her call. It was behind square, but common sense probably prevailed. But Noralia, yeah, good start. 5 off 7. Bara, 13 off 21. We're into the 8th over. Here is Raikatalau from the northern end of Udiana Cricket Ground, and Noralia is just defending this into the offside. It's picked up there at point by Ismaili, and there's no run. So Fiji's got 3 players back on the leg side on the boundary. Oh, and that's beautifully struck by Noralia. A bit like you said off the previous ball, Toby. And it's over the boundary for 4. Beautiful timing. It was a good length ball on a length. And Noralia beat cover to cover's right-hand side out to the boundary for 4. In fact, there was a fielder at long off that couldn't get round to it either. And it's true that the outfield's quickened up over the last couple of weeks here because we're well and truly out of rainy season now, but there was a great bit of timing, and this time Noralia tries to cut that one away and doesn't make contact. There's no run.
Yeah, that raced away for 4 there from Hilva Noralia. Evidently likes the cover drive shot with 8 of her 9 runs so far today coming from those 2 boundaries. And it's a beautiful shot to be playing, and she'll be looking to pounce on anything just like that almost.
Yeah, that's a fuller ball. She's played it up to long on. Will Bara come back for 2? No. I think also what's impressive about Naralia is that, you know, she's not playing, how should I say, she's able to play it from the crease. So it's not because she's got forward and she's timed it perfectly. She's just been able to see it with her eye and just swing through the line in the right direction and time it. And, you know, anyone that's played cricket at any level knows that that's actually not an easy shot to play. You know, if it's on the front foot and your leg's well forward, it's a little bit easier, but to play it from the crease, just with the eye, it's a little bit harder. And me myself, and I've never been a great cricketer, but that's the sort of shot I've never really ever been able to play. I can get forward to it, but to just stand and deliver, as Nirali has done twice now, is definitely not easy. As Raika Talau comes in again, and this one's cut away by Bara, timed it nicely. But there's a fielder just inside the circle, and she was able to just cut that one off. So Bara keeps the score ticking over. She's doing her job beautifully here, Bara. 14 off 22. Nirali is 10 off 11. And Indonesia, after 8 overs, are 46 for 2. So only 38 required now, with 12 overs to get them. So we seem to have had a pattern over the last couple of days, Toby, that the drinks break is the crucial moment. But sadly, from Fiji's perspective, it's still 2 overs away at the moment. But that gives them 2 overs to pull some magic out, I guess. And it's going to be Maui Tonga again. Oh, Maui Tonga, Maui Tonga, I should say. And Bara cuts this one into the offside, and there's no run.
Yeah, you're absolutely spot on. We saw in that Indonesia Papua New Guinea game where only, I think, 18 runs were required after the drinks break, and I think they'd only lost 1 wicket at that time. All of a sudden, lost about 6 for 7 or something. So with still 38 runs required.
Gareya was the bowler. She came on straight after she took 4 wickets. What was it? 4 wickets and 5 balls or something ridiculous like that. It was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah. So if you are in the Fijian camp, 37 runs. They will be hoping for this drinks break, but you know things can change very quickly. So they just probably, as you rightly pointed out, want to get through to that drinks break as quickly as possible. It's Maui Tonga just a little bit wide on that one, but if they can still have a few runs to play with, you never know what's in the water here at the Oriana Cricket Ground.
Well, a lot of the water comes from Mount Batur. There's a few different brands out here. We're drinking the regular Indonesian one here, the Aqua, as this next one is just through to the keeper and there's no run. Here we have Balian, we have a few other brands. So I'm not sure what the coach of Fiji and Indonesia has in mind, which water to give this time, as this next one from Maui Tonga is pulled nicely in front of square by Bara, but just out to the boundary rider there. That's Vuli out there, and just the one. But Bara's doing a great job here. 15 off 25. That's all that's required. And here's Maui Tonga again. And Noralia this time tries to force that one down the ground, but Maui Tonga fields it in her follow through. Equal was the other water I was thinking of. There's a few posh brands here, Toby. This is just for us cheap people. We get to drink the regular Aqua. This one's wide down the leg side from Maui Tonga. But look at the enthusiasm. She bowled it wide and she just runs straight back to her mark. No head going down. It's just right, let's get on with it. Here she is again, Maui Tonga. And this is pulled nicely by Noralia, but it's beautifully fielded at mid-wicket. Knocked down. And Noralia thought about a single, but then thought better of it. And Bara was although she's always keen to run, she didn't back up too far, and no harm done for Indonesia as this one's outside the line of off stump, and that is the end of the 9th over. So Maui Tonga now, she's bowled the 2 overs, she's got none for 10. Indonesia on 50 now, 50 for 2, 9 overs gone. They just require another 34. Noralia's there on 10 off the 14 balls, with her Bara on 15. You'd have to say, Toby, it's looking pretty good for Indonesia at this point.
Yeah, it is looking good. There is still a long way to go, and you mentioned just before about the enthusiasm and energy, or in both camps, but particularly from the Fijian side. They are up and about, and you just feel for if they are able to get one wicket, they can send a few shivers through the camp of Indonesia. Certainly loved the enthusiasm and energy that Fiji have brought to the game today, and it's showing in their performance as well.
Here's Bara this time just defending up to cover. I get the feeling that Bara's the crucial wicket here. I know Norelia is striking it beautifully, but I just kind of feel that Bara is setting the tempo for Indonesia. She's the rock, she's the anchor. She's technically, obviously, very good as she tries to pull this one away, and it's her pad. But I think if Fiji could get Bara out here, I reckon that would give them a real boost. It's one of those sort of psychological things, right? You just think, sometimes there's certain people in the team, you just like, oh, if we could either get them out or get them off strike, you know? And I just feel like Bara's kind of dictating the game a little bit here at the moment as she pulls this one away behind square, out to the sweeper at square leg, backwards square, and they get through for 1. But even just then, she took the first one so quickly. She was looking for the second. She seems a very, very influential player, and in the games that I've watched, and I've watched not the first day, but this is the third Indonesian match I've watched now. This is the first time I've had a good look at Bara, because she's been out at the crease for a long time. But she just seems to be the one that's making it all kind of happen for Indonesia at the moment. As Raika Talau comes in again, and it's pushed into the covers nicely by Noralia. They go through for a single. But she seems very much in control, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, she certainly looks to have a calm head on her shoulders.
Yeah.
A lot of composure, not panicking. And when you're chasing a total like this, that's exactly the type of person who you want to have at the crease. And one more ball until drinks. She'll be very happy if she can just get through this and where her team is at in this game.
And that's a big looping full toss. It drops at the last minute. She plays it away to square leg, and that will be the end of the over. So that was a good over from Raika Talau. Just the 2 runs off it. And at the drinks break, 10 overs gone. Indonesia 52 for 2, requiring another 32. Nuralia is on 11 and Bara is on 16. So you'd have to say Indonesia's in pole position here, as they say. We'll be back very shortly. we're back underway, and what a great start for Maui Tonga. First ball after drinks, and Noralia, her leg stump's been rocked back, and wow, I don't know if it's something to do with Toby, but you have a theory, Toby, that immediately after the drinks break, something happens, and that drifted onto Noralia's pads. She came inside the line, leg stump, rocked back.
Wow, straight away, first ball. We talked about it just before the drinks break that, there is something in the water here sometimes, and maybe from an Indonesian perspective, next time they may decide not to have the drinks break because it's not positive results after they come back. So, but fantastic delivery there from Maui Tonga. Exactly what you want to be doing, putting it on the stumps and asking the question of the batter. And Hilva Noralia had to go, and all of a sudden, 52 for 3. It's back on.
Well, I said before the interval, Toby, that I thought Bara was the key wicket, but mainly because I think she can bat the whole innings. But Noralia was looking very dangerous, so actually it's brilliant either way for Fiji. Is this first ball or the next ball from Maui Tonga is, I think that was down the leg side. Oh, it's a leg by, yeah, I was wondering why that wasn't signalled wide. So Wayo is the new batter, and she's down at the non-strikers end now because that was a leg by. And so that brings Bara back onto strike. Be interesting to see Bara's approach now with the new batter at the crease. Will she try and be a bit more aggressive? Well, this one is down the leg side. Was there a bottom edge on that possibly? It's not signalled wide.
Just outside the off.
Oh, was it outside off, was it?
Just got through. It's interesting, Fiji have quite a few fielders back, so it'll be interesting if they're just trying to almost give Bara the single and get the new batter in. Wow, on to strike.
Here's Maui Tonga bowling to Bara. She played into the covers. Well, as I said 5 or 10 minutes ago, it's actually there's an overthrow there. That's a bonus run for Indonesia. It was hit into the covers. Bara had no thought of running, and somehow or other she's got a single out of it. But yeah, it comes back to what I was saying a couple of overs ago, Toby. Giving Bara a single is actually not a bad strategy. It gives Maui Tonga the chance now to bowl to Weo. And she strikes that straight to mid-wicket. That's a really good field placement. Mid-wicket's in really close there. It wasn't timed perfectly, but it was hit straight to the fielder, so there was no chance of a single there. Whereas if you look at the offside field, apart from extra cover, they're all very deep. Here's Maui Tonga again. Weo crunches that one out towards the mid-wicket boundary and races away for 4. It was just too short from Maui Tonga, and Weo, off just her third ball of the innings, smashes that one away for 4 and gets a nice hug from Bara. Just look at this. Yeah, it wasn't even wide. It wasn't even down the leg side. It was just a little bit short. And Weo into position so quickly, smashed it into the gap for 4.
What a beautiful way for Weo to get off the mark with a 4 like that. As you said, Andy, got into position extremely early and just struck it so well.
Salivia is going to be the new bowler, coming in from the northern end, just off a few paces. Haven't seen her in this tournament yet. I don't know if she played on day 1, Toby, but she certainly hasn't played in the other days that I've been here. And this first ball is outside off stump. Bara is trying to cut that one away. There's a massive gap behind point in our direction. We're kind of at a wide third in our commentary position to the left-handed Bara at the moment. The next one's down the leg side, and Bara works that behind square. There's a fielder out there. It's just the one run. Good throw back to the keeper. So what did you do on your day off, Toby? That's what I've been meaning to ask you. Don't tell me you were working.
We actually were working. Well, we did.
Working in inverted commas. You're in Bali, Toby. Come on. Be honest. You were sitting on the beach in Nusa Dua, having a swim, checking your emails from time to time, taking the odd call from your boss. Is this next one's defended by Wao and they think about a single? What I'm trying to say is, did you have a nice day off, Toby?
I was just thinking about the matches to come in this tournament, really.
Of course you
what
were.
An exciting tournament we have here.
This one's lofted away by Wao, out towards deep square leg. It's one bounce. Are they going to come back for two? Yes, they are. That's good running. So two more to Indonesia. Wao moves on to 6. Indonesia move on to 61 for 3. Just the 21 needed. So that's the official line.
As you know, and you can probably see on the sign here, we've got the ICC 100% Cricket Future Leaders program in action at this tournament, which is an opportunity for aspiring female coaches across the region to get the opportunity to be an assistant coach in this tournament. And we're very fortunate to have mentor and ICC Hall of Famer and World Cup winning coach with Australia, Catherine Fitzpatrick here.
Oh.
So we did have a session yesterday just reflecting with these coaches, aspiring coaches, what they've learnt so far in the tournament. And I suppose at the halfway mark, it was a really good opportunity just to reflect on that first half, what they've been doing from a coaching perspective, and look ahead at these next 3 days and what they can start to implement. And I think you can probably see on field today, and you'll probably see throughout the next few days, some of those little changes that the coaches are making and how that then reflects in the performance of the players. So it was, a really good session over a meal yesterday.
Wow, I mean, without trying to big the whole thing up too much, I mean, we're not talking about, some random person that played cricket a little bit. Catherine Fitzpatrick, I mean, I must say I'm not an absolute student of the women's game, but she's like one of the all-time greats ever. And for you guys to get Catherine out here, I almost feel like I should call her Mrs. Fitzpatrick. I mean, that's wonderful, Toby, but it reflects on my experience being here as well, right? Like this is as Maui Tonga begins a new over, and Bara cuts that one nicely out to cover. They'll run with the shot, and they get through for a single. Bara moves on to 20, and Indonesia on to 64, just the 20 required. But no, it's a credit to you guys for what you're doing, As I think I said to you probably off here, when I walked in on day 2, I had no idea what I was coming into. I just thought it was a tournament. I didn't realise that it was a really big event, and obviously it's been brilliant to be part of it. But to hear that, as we just see this next one from Maui Tonga, it's cut by Wao, over cover, out to the boundary for 4. What a lovely shot. So Wao, she moves on rapidly to 11 off just the 7 balls, and Indonesia now, you'd have to say, are cruising towards victory. They're 68 for 3, just 16 needed with, 7 and a bit overs left. But no, it's a real credit that you're able to have, or not just get someone like Catherine Fitzpatrick to spend time here with these teams, but to even think about it in the first place, and give them that level of inspiration as Wao this time swings and misses. It's awesome, mate.
Yeah, we're very lucky at the ICC to have access to legends of the game, and as you mentioned, Catherine Fitzpatrick, she's an ICC Master Educator as part of the ICC's Training and Education Program, which was launched a couple of years ago. So she's done a lot of work with tutors and train the trainer across the region recently, particularly female leaders as well. We've got a few master educators in the region, but across the globe, and it's been a big focus of the ICC to focus on developing coaches across the globe, because we realise coaches are the key really to success and creating a positive playing experience. As we see, another lovely shot there from Bara. So,
well, also what's good to hear about it, of course, is that like any sportsman or sportswoman that comes to the end of their playing career, it's kind of like, what the hell do I do now, right? And it's great that the ICC finds ways to get or keep people like Catherine Fitzpatrick, and I'm sure there's many others, keep them involved in the game and create like a, how should I say, like a network. I just think of someone like Bob Warmer, for example, who I have a pretty big soft spot for, because I've read his story and everything, and I've researched him heavily. And when let's just come back, here's Maui Tonga. And this is pulled away by Wayo, but it's straight to the fielder on the boundary. But wow, she's timing it well, Wayo. She moves on to 13. But yeah, a guy like Bob Warmer, after he stopped coaching South Africa, he had about 3 or 4 years with the ICC between about 1999 and 2003. And having read a lot about him and read some of his interviews and listened to what other players had to say, some people just have a natural connection to the game, and it's just magnificent if you can get people involved rather than them becoming like a used car salesman or something like that.
yeah, absolutely, and you're spot on. I mean, even I mentioned that Catherine Fitzpatrick is doing a lot of work with the coaches of this tournament and emerging coaches. But even yesterday, she came down to run a pace bowling session with the Indonesian women, the senior team, and their fast bowlers. So
Right.
There was 5 or 6
Was
players.
Murtiari there, by the way?
I think she was having a day off.
Oh, was
as
she?
one of the
Okay.
under-19s. But yeah, it was wonderful to see kind of that knowledge and wisdom through many years in the game, and someone like Catherine Fitzpatrick, who I think was still the fastest bowler to have ever bowled in the women's game, to get that exposure.
Might have to look that up
for the
between
Indonesian
games.
bowlers. It was,
See what she registered on the speed gun. But Indonesia now just require 11. Wayo's done a great job here. She's on 14 off 12. Bara's still there. Anchored the innings beautifully. 21 off 37. But I think also, Toby, just listening to what you had to say, as Bara works this away behind square, there's a short fine leg who cuts it off, so Bara just gets 1. Yeah, just what you were saying about, there's certain cliches, right? Giving back to the game and staying involved and all this sort of thing, and yeah, just what you've just described is just a really nice example of it. And there's this one, Wayo whacks it down the ground, out towards the sight screen, and that's raced away for 4. So Wayo, wow. I just said earlier in the commentary of this innings, I'm not sure Indonesia has. I don't think I said it directly, but indirectly I said they haven't got anyone that can just smash it all around the place. But Wayo's doing just that.
Yeah, Indonesia may have found someone here in Wayo for future matches as well, who can just get to the boundary, one bounce over the rope. She's not a big girl, Wayo, but she can hit a big shot.
Yeah, well, I guess is probably the most iconic cricketers in the world, such as Sir Donald Bradman, the late Sir Donald Bradman, Sachin Tendulkar. None of them were particularly big. Yeah, it's all about timing, isn't it? But Wayo's just come out here and just said, right, I want to win this game for my country, and that's exactly what she's doing. 18 off 13. They've just, well, I wouldn't even say they've paced it well. They're strolling to victory. The target was 87, 83, 84, sorry, and they're 78 now. And there's still 6 overs after this one. So, sadly for Fiji, after posting a very, very good total, they've just been played out of this by Wayo in particular in the last few overs. And, Bara through this innings, they've just put together this run chase really, really well.
Yeah, you mentioned the innings of Bara. It's been very impressive, hasn't it? She's just batted through pretty much the whole innings, I think. And,
Yep.
Did she open the batting?
Yeah, she started.
So it's been a very impressive knock from her. And I think you did mention while she is at the crease, Indonesia every opportunity. And
Yeah, and I think this is possibly also an indication of, and I've tried not to talk about this too much on commentary, but I'll just say a little bit here. I think it's also an indication of the tactical aspects of the game. We spent a lot of time yesterday talking about the approach of Fiji, and here's Izameli beginning a new over, and that's wide outside off stump. Not given wide, Bara couldn't make contact, but their approach was very much, based on what their coach said to us yesterday, is just go out and play. But, that's Fiji. Indonesia, they have a high performance centre here in Bali, right? And I know a little bit about that. Here comes Izameli again, and Bara gets one down the leg side. It's called wide. But I don't know exactly how it works with the under-19s, but I certainly know with the senior level side, they but they train every day here at this ground, at Udiana Cricket Ground. So Fiji's kind of up against it, is what I'm trying to say. And, we also know that Indonesia played in the last under-19 World Cup. So I think this performance today, as Bara just defends that one away into the offside and there's no run, it sort of gives a fairly accurate reflection of the tournament as a whole, I think, and just I'm trying to think of the right word. It's not professionalism, but what I'm trying to say is the game understanding or something like that. I can't think of the right word, but experience, basically. It's a difference in experience. I think that's probably the right word.
Yeah, this is Fiji's first time at the Under-19 World Cup qualifier, and a lot of the girls in the Indonesian team did play at the last World Cup or the last qualifiers, and here being on their home ground, probably just that extra experience. And we talked a little bit about it, their composure, understanding what to do in certain situations.
Yeah,
I think it is on display here, isn't it? So
yeah,
it's been a really impressive performance from Indonesia and Fiji for that matter. But probably that extra experience in game sense just coming through and none better shown than Sandra Bara and her innings that she's played today.
Yeah, I think that's a good assessment, actually. But let's not take anything away from the performance of Fiji here. And, they scored at 83 today. That was a great effort. Here's Bara this time working its mid-wicket. And even right now, look, Izameli, she's coming back for her last over. She's bowled 2 wides in this over, but 4 dot balls. She's got 1 for 17. She's very promising. Also a decent batter as well. Or a good batter, I should say. Decent's probably not the right word, and also a top order batter. So Fiji's not, they haven't thrown in the towel by any stretch. Once again, Bara's beaten outside off stump. But it's just a progression in the tournament, and probably in most situations, if you're chasing 84, you'd think, we can probably win this. But maybe if Fiji had scored another, I don't know, 20 odd, it might have changed the psychology of the chase. But as you say, we should also give a. Oh, I think that's just hit the wicketkeeper in the helmet. I hope she's okay. That was nice series there. The ball just bounced up, hit her in the helmet, and probably there's going to have to be a concussion check now. But let's not take anything away from Indonesia. They probably would have been quite happy with an 83 target or 84 target, and this has been an excellent chase, Toby.
Yeah, it has been, as we see young Milika Naitheru just get the ball in the face there, so the trainers have come out. But I would say from a Fiji perspective, this has certainly been their most impressive performance, I'd have to say. They've been in the game and a fair chance of looking like winning. As we see a replay here, it just bounced into Naitheru's face. Just an unlucky bounce.
Blame that one on the groundsman. That just took a really awkward bounce. She was actually in line for that and then just suddenly bounced the other way. Yeah.
Bit unlucky, but
luckily she was wearing a helmet though. Oh, she wasn't. Oh, I thought she was.
Yeah, just right on the nose there.
Oh, okay.
So
maybe I need to go to Specsavers. I thought she was wearing a helmet. Anyway, there was no requirement for her to be wearing a helmet. It was a pace bowler, of course, but she looks to be okay.
So it looks like they're going to have to find someone else to do the wicket keeping for these last few deliveries, because Milika Naitheru has left the ground.
Well, that's a bit sad, isn't it? I mean, it's unfortunate. I just hope that, she looks okay, but what I mean by that is that, there's no sort of immediate damage or anything like that.
But yeah, it's been a very impressive performance from both teams today, and I think a lot of positives for both teams. Probably, I think we've learnt a lot in the commentary box on both these teams today. We were a bit unsure how Indonesia would go chasing a score like this.
Good point.
We weren't quite sure, on Fiji, on how they would go, and we've learnt a lot from them today, I'd say, in terms of both their batting and their bowling performance as well. It's been, a pretty tidy effort, I'd have to say. And
well, just on that, if I think back about this game, I don't think Indonesia was that special with the ball, but what I've also come to realise in this tournament is that they've just got a very strong bowling team. So without anyone doing anything amazing, they still always bowl well. But I think what stood out for me today is this run chase is the best I've seen so far. It's been the best batting effort in this tournament that I've seen from Indonesia, and obviously I missed the first day, but they only had to chase 45 or 46 or something against Fiji in the first match. But this has been quite sort of clinical, if you know what I mean. Really, really, yeah. I keep thinking of the word professional, but I know that's not the right word. Just clinical and just doing exactly what's required, and they just need the 3 runs now, and there's, one ball left in the 15th over. This will give them a lot of confidence. And remember, they're still in this tournament. I know Samoa's won 3 out of 3, but Indonesia's now, it's going to be 3 out of 4.
Yeah, I think with this win, Indonesia will probably go top of the table. Obviously, Samoa are still to play later today, but it's been an impressive performance from Indonesia, and as we see Merasini Meke take the gloves for this last little part, so we'll see how she goes. But
Bara drives this one to short cover. I noticed that she's immediately put the helmet on. I don't know how I thought Nigeria was wearing a helmet. Maybe I was just assuming it. But that's actually been one interesting observation point in this tournament. The amount of times I've seen a wicketkeeper in this tournament wear a helmet pretty much the whole time, no matter where they're standing. I mean, they could be standing on the boundary and they'll still wear the helmet. Even right now, with Meki. She's standing 15 yards back. She's wearing a helmet. It's been quite a theme in this tournament as Wangani Sao comes in, the skipper, and that's slashed away by Wayo, but it's beautifully fielded at backward point. I thought they was racing away for 4 there, Toby, but Maui Tonga there just cut that one off. And we have to wait a little bit longer. So just 1 run behind now, Indonesia. They're 82 for 3. Of course, Fiji scored 83 for 7. So Indonesia, it's looking like they might win by 7 wickets here. Let's see what Bara can do. She's anchored the innings beautifully, and it's a misfield there by Meki behind the stumps. So they get through for a bye. So scores are tied. I think Weo's going to finish this with a boundary. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it'd be great to see her finish it in style.
I just have a feeling. The way she's batted, I reckon she's going to smash this somewhere to the boundary. Here we go. Well, she at least tried. Didn't quite connect, but yeah, really impressive performance by Indonesia today. They're a really well-rounded team, and I suppose as an observation so far, Toby, is that they have a lot of strength in all departments. As Wayo lofts us down the ground, it's 1 bounce to mid-on. She dives through, makes her ground. They get the 1, and that is victory for Indonesia. Wayo lying on the ground. I think that's probably more in happiness rather than anything else, as her teammates run onto the field, make sure she's okay. And Indonesia, on this 4th day of the tournament, I think Weo's being carried off by her teammate, and that's a lovely gesture. So here we are on day 4 at Udiana Cricket Ground. And that is the first game complete. Indonesia win by 7 wickets. And we're going to take a break. We'll be back again at 1:30 local time. That's Indonesia Central Time, or WITA, as we say in this part of the world. Same time in some other places, such as the Philippines, for example. So wherever you are, join us again at 1:30 p.m. Central Indonesia time, Bali time. We'll catch you then.